That's that boy iRappy.
Yo, what up, bro?
You hear me or what?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, what up, G?
Chilling, man. Chilling, man.
Hey, man. Glad to hear. How's the family doing, first and foremost?
Everybody's good, man. Everybody's good. I'm feeling a little bit better today. That's why I'm even here, man. Fucking stomach flu had me on the toilet in sweats and shit, bro. That shit was not the good.
What you eat, bro?
I don't know, dog. I must have been something I ate. That's what I'm
All right,
thinking.
all right, bro. But hey, man, I'm glad I have you here, bro. For those that don't know, this is my homie XP, the Marxman, of LA hip hop artist, among other things. Bro, I wanted to ask you, what motivates you to keep writing music, bro? After so long, so long of doing it, you know?
Just hearing a lot of whack shit.
And what do you consider whack shit?
Uh, it's a lot of shit that that maybe me in particularly I don't like.
Yeah,
And I feel like the craft could be done better. I mean, I don't have anybody in particular to name. I mean, there's a lot of people that they fall under the category to me where I'm just like, shit could be
would you,
done
would,
better. You know what I
would
mean?
you say it would be like the SoundCloud or the SoundCloud rappers or
I mean, it could vary, bro. Even
okay,
in
okay.
even in my bracket too. You know what I'm saying? Shit could be
All
done a
right.
lot better. But I just feel that motivation comes from just doing this shit for too long and like came too far to look back. Kind of shit, bro. You know what I mean?
I got you.
And I kind of feel like whenever I lose inspiration, there's always like a producer, there's always like some shit I hear, there's always something that brings me back to like wanting to do it again. Like I get hype, you know what I mean? Like I'll be like, oh
Yeah,
shit, that shit sounds hard. Like, you know what I
yeah,
mean? I'll
yeah.
get a pack from I'll get a beat pack from an engineer and I'm not even in writing mode, but as soon as I hear some shit, I'm like, oh, like yeah, like let's go, like I guess as much as I try to just chill, I can't because fools are just constantly shooting me beats or like I'm getting pulled this way, that way. So I just feel that even as much as I try to just not do music and just try to chill on this shit, if I could, I can't, because I'm constantly just in it.
I feel you, bro. I feel you. Um, I always wanted to ask you, as a fan, but more as a friend. Freaking hold up, let me check. Let me just share this out real quick, bro. Since you're the homie, but I'm still a fan. You feel me?
I feel
And
it.
all right. So, fucking, would you recall what was the first rap song, or who was the first rap artist you ever heard? Like,
Um,
not necessarily an artist that got you into, oh shit, I want to do that. Like, I guess subconsciously, just in the background here, like, who was the first rap? Like, what was the first rap verse, if anything, you ever
well,
heard?
I mean, I I can say as a kid, my mom was the one that was kind of more tuned into like the music that was out at that time.
All right.
My pops was more like a classic rock dude. He liked the Doors and the oldies and shit like that.
Yeah, okay.
And so my mom was mainly the one that was bringing the new music. So when we'd be in the car, she'd be listening to the radio, and I would hear rap on the radio. I mean, as
Yeah.
a kid, I wouldn't be able to tell you specifically who it was, but I can name three artists in particular that influenced me to just love hip hop and in no particular order, the Fat Boys, because they had that
Mm.
they had that track about Freddy Krueger, and I remember my uncle used to cruise us around. He had a Volkswagen, like one of those buses, like those
Yeah.
little like. So he hooked that shit up with like a sound system. He put like seats in there, and he
Yeah.
would literally just cruise around the block and just listen to hip hop and shit. And my uncle Oscar, man, he was a DJ at that time, so he had like the camcorder, he had the turntables, so he kind of brought hip hop around us, and I was, you know, listening to it in the cars and like listening. And then when I get home, MTV Yo Raps would be on because my mom would have that shit on, and like
Yeah,
I would,
yeah,
and I would see like the latest hip hop shit. So ultimately, man, I would say like the Fat Boys, Kumo D. I remember
yeah. Okay.
hearing the Wild Wild West and just like that beat was so ill, like the wee Wild
Okay.
Wild West. Listen, like that shit was hard, bro. And then
All right.
what actually drove me to walk into the music store and buy some shit was the Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff
Okay.
Summertime.
So Will Smith.
Will Smith, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
that's
like
good.
yeah,
All
you
right.
know what I mean, like real talk, and he had that one joint, Summertime, and that shit was just like I remember watching the video and being like, yo, like I want to do that shit, bro. Like that's what I want to do when I grow up. Like this fool looks like he's just living that life, you know. He's
Yeah.
cool, he looks fly, he got
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
chicks around him, he's living, you know, a dope lifestyle, and I was like, yo, that's so ill, you know, off of rapping. And,
Yeah.
so yeah, man. I mean, so three people I would say, you know, it was like Kumo D, the Fat Boys, the Fresh Prince. So I was mainly tuned into like really like the essence of hip hop real early, you know, and then after that, that's when I remember the Snoops, the Dre's, uh,
All right,
Tupac,
gangster rap.
and yeah, you know, the gangster rap era. Um, you know, Too Short, E40. Who else do we used to bump?
And shit. Let's go.
Ice Cube, you know what I mean? Like Easy E, yeah, just a lot of like that. Yeah, it's weird because when I was old enough to grasp what they were, you know, rapping about, I was around like I want to say you know 6 years old, you know 5 6 years old, and I just
Oh,
remember like you know being able to like memorize the hooks and like shit like
okay.
that. So and I
Yeah.
guess when hip hop was out around that time, which is you know I'm born in '86, so it was had to be like '95 or some shit like that, or no, 91, '92. I'm sorry, I'm high
Yeah.
right now.
Okay, yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
Because
for
because
hey,
I
no,
was like six or around 95 or 96. So I was
okay,
like,
yeah,
nah, you
hey,
older
fool,
than me, motherfuckers.
because no, but
You trying to
you
make
caught
yourself
that shit last
younger.
time,
You trying
fool.
to make yourself
When I was trying
younger.
to do the
Relax.
math and shit, and like, you know what I'm saying? You caught me last time too when homie asked me how do I spell my name, and I was like Marx. You know, forget the CK. Like this was one of those moments right now, bro.
That was funny, bro.
Nah,
I
but
laughed.
yeah, yeah, G. Yeah. So, yeah, around that era, I guess hip hop was like still East Coast like based. I would say,
Okay.
at least on MTV and on the radio. I would say, you know what I mean. And then like as I got older, that's when I started tuning into like Snoop and like all that shit. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I
that
I
little
come from
Dr.
an
Dre
East
era,
Coast.
kind of,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
So
Because
so
everybody
I
was
would
on
say
them.
like when I tuned into hip hop, I was tuned in when East Coast was really prevalent on the airwaves and on MTV. So I kind of gravitated towards that shit mainly. You know what I mean?
I got you, brother. All right, so if you don't mind, I got some questions for you, bro. Like these just came easy to
No
me when I
doubt.
thought about them. Now check this out. Would you recall how old were you when you wrote your first verse?
Yeah. I was in ninth grade.
That's great. All right.
Um. Because before that, I would just like just rhyme, like do little cheap ass jingles with the homies, making fun of them and just just fucking around with it.
Yeah.
But when I actually wrote my first shit, I was in health class. I remember it specifically.
Don't tell me you did
I was
like
in
an
health.
anatomy scheme or some shit. Like, oh, let me put the ligament,
Well, shit.
this fucking
Honestly, bro, I
tissue.
think because around that time I was like heavily listening to like Wu Tang and shit. Like Wu Tang Forever was like
Ooh.
cracking, bro. Like Wu
Yeah.
Tang Forever was cracking, and I just remember just being inspired by Liquid Swords and like Wu Tang. You know what I mean? Just like, and I was like,
Triumph.
maybe I could write a rap. That at least makes sense. So I remember writing this rap I don't remember what I wrote, but
Damn, that was gonna be the follow up. That was gonna be the follow up.
nah, man. You know what? There's a few cats that I do know that they do remember the first shit that they wrote, but me, I don't, man, because I just be I've been
Hey,
writing ever since that fucking day.
hey,
Tell you
believe
the
it,
fucking
bro.
truth.
I still remember the first bars I ever wrote, bro.
See, that's crazy because like
Those takes a memo inspiring me and shit, like, because I always wanted to be a producer. I was beats, right?
right,
Beats. I want to do beats, but my cousin and shit. He came along and I was gonna kick with him. He's all like, "Hey, bro," because he's always like, he's older than me and he was always ahead of me and shit that's like fun to
so
do,
he influenced you.
Yes, and everything. Like I wasn't really into drawing, like I was, but then when I saw Memo, he was a good drawer and shit. I was be like, "Hey, what? Like, competition? I kind of want to be a better drawer now, you know?" And then
Right, right.
one day it just hit me like, "Yo, I like beats. I like beats. I'm gonna go to Memo and surprise him with this shit. Like, yo, hey, I'm into beats. What you gotta say about that? Like, you know?" And then he just
Yeah.
came with me like, hey, I like rapping. And I'm all like, what? Like that kind of slightly top notch shit, like what?
You're
Like
like,
what you
oh
mean like
shit,
rapping?
you make
And
beats
then
and you do that?
and then he was fucking reciting some bars that he wrote, And I'm all like it hit me like, yo, we could do this, like regular Joes could do this shit, like me.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he got me into writing and shit, and I remember, nah, like, let me teach you. All you gotta do is just make sure you rhyme, like make sure you
Yeah.
rhyme, and then that's what I did, bro. And I remember my shit, but I'm kind of shy to spit my shit, so don't make me.
And that shit's a trip though, fool. Because when I met your cousin, that
Yeah.
fool could rap his ass off, but he didn't know structuring of like 16 bars, like you know what I
Control.
mean, 24 bars. So like you know, bringing that fool through, it was like teaching that fool, you know what I'm saying, the structuring because that fool was just like a fucking, he was like a machine gun. He like,
Exactly.
it was like, homie was kicking some shit, but you know
Yeah.
what I mean. Once he seen the structuring, then I think it the formula came a lot more. You know what I'm saying with everything.
Yo, salute to the chat.
Definitely,
Thank you for being here. We got the one and only XP, the Marxman, West Coast shit,
salute,
Rhyme Addicts. And
salute.
that shit crazy, bro. So, cause it's true. I remember he even told me, bro, like he was all like, yo, Mike, yo, rap, come through. I know how to write bars, and I'm like, what do you mean bars? Like I've never heard writing being like, put in that term bars.
Right, right.
And then I remember he's all like, yo, this is how I'm gonna start the rhyme. Check this out. Da 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 da, bam, da 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 da, bam. And I'm all like, oh, like I started getting it. And he told me,
Hey, bro, that
yeah,
shit's a trip because
my homie taught me.
honestly,
Like my homie taught me out because I used to work at a warehouse, if I'm correct, right?
right, yeah. We used to work
Yeah.
at a spot. Yeah, but you know what? You know what's a trip though, dog? It was like your cousin was the only fool that I actually taught that to, because I was like, because that was a person that I didn't have to teach how to rap. He already knew how to rap. He was ill. He just had to be tamed with the fucking, with
Like
the
structure.
structure. And it's crazy
Yeah.
because after that, I would be in the lab, right? And I would see his rhymes laying there, and I would look, I'm like, oh, is that? Oh, that's not my rhyme. And like it looked exactly like how I would write my rhymes. I still write my rhymes like that today
All
with the
right.
slash, like da da da. Because everybody has, their way, and
Yeah.
honestly, the way I did that was like I taught myself how to do that shit, slash. Because when you look at Illward's raps, they don't
Yeah.
look the same. When you look at I suppose his raps, they don't look the same. It's like a lot of fools will just write the first bar like on the first
Yeah.
line, and then they
Yeah.
follow it up like what I mean. And me, I was just kind of like I felt doing it, that style with like paragraph.
Yeah.
It just keeps it moving. Like, you know what I mean. It keeps it
Like
just
you're
moving.
reading. Like you're reading, right?
Exactly. But yeah, man, that's a fucking trip. But anyways, I wrote my first rap at health class, and I went at nutrition to show all the homies, right? And I'm like, I was nervous, bro. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna spit this shit for these fools. And I spit it for these fools, and they're like, yo, that shit's actually kind of ill, G. Like, and I was like, oh, yeah, for real? They're like, yeah, bro. And I was like, all right. So now every day I took it upon myself to write a new rap and bring it to these fools at nutrition.
Okay.
And what happened was when I started to do that, I started to inspire the other homies in the circle too. So now we were meeting up at nutrition, spitting the raps that we wrote and shit. And then it kind of led to like,
Hold
food almost.
let me stop you there. Let me stop you there. Let me stop you there. 'Cause I was gonna ask you this at the end to try to like surprise you on some shit, but because I feel like you're gonna head there right now to what you're saying. Is this what influenced Earthrealm?
Oh shit. Um,
Woo! You didn't
Earth
expect
realm.
that one, right? You didn't expect that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, word.
Is this what
Earth,
influenced Earthrealm?
Earth. Well, I was see. This is the thing. I was like a closet rapper. For I only rapped for like my homies,
Oh
and
shit.
then and I didn't know ill word or any of these fools at that time.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So my dad, he met a woman and they were together and they got a new house. And I grew up
Is it
in
something
the Van
different?
Nuys area.
Is this something different then?
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right,
I
then
went
we
to
gonna hold this. We
Birmingham
gonna hold this. We
when I
gonna hold
started
this.
rapping.
All right, so let's continue. All right, we gonna hold this one then. So let's
Yeah.
go. All
So
right. Yeah, you said that what you had to, keep bringing it. So that means that you would write a rhyme almost every day just to
yeah,
keep doing it.
yeah, you know what I mean, and then influencing all the homies. So the shit kind of became a cipher. You know what I mean? Like fools would link at nutrition and like spit their verse they wrote off
Okay.
of the pad, or if they memorized it. And then shortly thereafter, I went to Birmingham. My first semester of high school out there in Van Nuys and shit. And then from there, I went one semester there. My dad met a woman. They got a house out here in you know, the San Fernando area.
Yeah.
So I basically grew up with all these fools throughout my life, and then I basically had to move. You know what I mean? So I'm just like I had to come to a whole new high school, whole new friend. Like I had to meet new people, dog. And I was just like, but the thing was my stepbrother, his cousin, which is Illward, he rapped. And this fool knew I rapped, bro. And
So
he was like,
that,
yo,
all right. So
I
you
want to
and Yo were
introduce you to my
basically
cousin. Yeah,
family, right?
this is where the shit starts. Like,
All right, that shit
so
crazy.
I switched my high school. I'm about to go to San Fernando High, but when I'm about to go, I'm like, yo, like who raps with it? So my stepbrother, he knows everybody, and especially Ilward. And Ilward was that dude, bro. He would show up to high school with a boombox, homie, and like fucking battle fools at like Ilward was that dude, bro.
I know there were battles. I was in. I think I seen them battle twice. Homie smoked both of them, bro. But
Bro, this fool smokes like Ilward could battle, bro, and
boombox,
like
baby. He said a boombox, baby.
he came from that, you know what I mean? So long story short, this fool, my stepbrother, told this fool like, "Hey, this fool raps," and he introduced me to Ilward. He's like, "Oh, word, you rap?" He's like, "All right, cool. Kick some shit tomorrow at fucking, nutrition and shit. And we'll see what's good." And I was like, I remember the whole day, I was fucking nervous. I was like, when I saw, because I didn't want to go to school that day because I was like, fuck, like everybody doesn't know me. I'm about to spit some shit for everybody. Like it was crazy, man. So I remember I wrote some shit that day and I went to nutrition and like I kicked that shit and this fool, it were the first thing he told me was like, yo, like that shit is ill, man. You have a dope ass voice. I fuck with you. He's like, you want to be
Yeah.
a part of that group and shit? And like it was that same day that he asked me if I wanted to be a part of his group and shit, which was MIC, mentally ill capacity, dog. MIC.
And
That
then
was
it
the
spells
first group
Mike
that I was a
too.
part
So
of.
it spells Mike. So
Mike, yeah, yeah, and it was me,
and
Ilward,
we'll do some shit like that. Try to do like a double on you and shit. Like so that's pretty lit. And Mano
Ilward
Jedi,
was
what up?
ill, man. Facts. So from there we formed a group called MIC, and we were three dudes at the time, and this other high school, our almost like the rival high school.
Yeah.
There was another three MCs over there too, so they were like there was this kind of talk, going back and forth like, yo man,
Word,
so they're
word
saying that they're like you could, they're gonna roast you fools and this and that when they say, and we were like, oh word. So what we did, we fucking ditched our school, hopped the fence, took the bus to their school, hopped the fence at nutrition, and called those fools out, bro. And
Let's go.
and with the people that were, and it's crazy because the people that were a part of that group, it wasn't I suppose or any of those fools, but I suppose and the other fools that were in Earth Realm were in the crowd. So they seen us hop the fence and battle the crew that was like the head crew of their school and like kill these fools, dog. And like these fools didn't want to rap, they didn't want to freestyle, they were spitting some written shit. Like, yeah, bro, like we went there, we showed out. You know, fast forward to maybe 2 years later, I'm going to San Fernando still. My stepbrother, he's going to Silmar, and there's this, there's this MC named MC Graphics, which is I suppose at that time. He went by MC Graphics. So, anyways, he was like, "Yo, this fool wants to battle you," or like some shit. I was like, "Oh, what? Let's go!" So they brought that fool to the block, I suppose. And before we even start, he's like, "Hey, man, like, much respect. I remember when you fools, hopped the fence and you battled, the group that was here. You killed, and like it was crazy. And it wasn't really a battle. It was more like a freestyle shit where we just kind of went back and forth for hours, bro. Like about an hour or two. It was crazy. So we kind of built a relationship, off of that instance. And then maybe like a couple weeks later, he's like, "Yo, I'm putting together a show. You fools want to be a part of it?" And we're like, "Yeah." So me and Ilward, started practicing. The show never went down, but he ended up booking some spot up here called Hip Hop Hot Dogs. It was like a grand opening of like this, like this new spot in Silmar. And he linked with the owners, and he's like, "Yo, is it cool if we do some hip hop events?" He's like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, it's a hip hop shop, so whatever." So through the shows that happened at that hip hop shit at the Hip Hop Hot Dogs, that's where you get Earth Realm. That's where that shit formed. You know what I'm saying? Because you have all these MCs, from different areas coming together and freestyling, and then we were battling, and we we were just moving as a unit because we were the only MCs that were on the up and coming out of the valley. Everybody else was from LA, Project Blowed and shit like that. So
Project Blowed, okay, I know.
Right, you know what I mean? So like
Project Blowed.
We were kind of the only fools that were like on the rise that weren't on that Chicano hip hop shit. We were on some raw hip hop, battle shit, and it set us apart in a way. But that's how Earth Realm formed. It was just a group of individuals that were trying to do the same thing, and we were in the same area, so we just made this, collective of art. It was like at one point, I believe there was like 9 fools in that shit, like 10 fools or something like that.
I was gonna ask, were you guys trying to be like a somewhat Wu-Tang for the West Coast?
Yeah, I think so. I think the influence that had and the influence that was, behind that was the Wu-Tang, like for sure. Like different fools are gonna play their roles, and you know what I mean? Yeah. But through actually wanting to pursue this shit for real, you see fools drop out, like you see fools that are serious and you see the fools that ain't, and the fools that are serious are still here today. That's all I can say, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I see that, bro. I can actually see that.
So, but yeah, man, that's pretty much where it's at, man. And then through Earth Realm, shit was like iffy, because we would get these shows to open up for like Talib Kweli, Dilated Peoples, and this is like in the early 2000s, and we would have to pay to play. So everybody in the group had to sell a certain amount of tickets to perform. So when that shit happened, a lot of fools weren't coming up with the bread to perform, and certain shit was happening. So it created certain turmoil within the group because certain people were having to carry other people's weight. You know what I mean? Yeah. So internally there was like, this beef going on between certain fools and da. It just trickled down to just 3 members, actually 4 members, which was the Figment, which is homie Frank Illward, myself, and I suppose. So it trickled down to us four, and that's that's pretty much where I met you, bro. Was when I was doing shit with these fools heavy. You know what I mean?
All right.
And with free verse and shit.
I got you. Yeah. All right. So I have another question for you, my brother. And this. All right. So I know you've traveled overseas.
Right.
Where was the first place you ever traveled to for to perform?
The first place I performed at was in Switzerland, um, Lausanne, Switzerland,
Okay.
and that's where I pretty much stay at when I go to Europe. And then everything from Switzerland's like an hour away. You can go to the UK, you can go to Spain, you can go to pretty much anywhere from these places. It's like $100 here, $100 there. And it's literally like an hour away from everything.
Was
So,
that
but
when you recorded that music video with I suppose in Illward, the black and white?
right, right,
Yeah, all right.
right. Yeah, man. So yeah, so when I went over there too, I was able to bring, the brothers out there too, and see, and it's a trip, man, because I did a lot of this shit unconsciously, man. So while I was working with the Rhyme Addicts, I started doing the building block shit. I don't know if you remember that.
Woo! Yeah, bro.
Okay. All
Bro,
right, yeah.
come
So
on.
I
Yeah.
started working on the building block shit, fool, and see what happened with that was when I started doing the building blocks of mixtapes. That's when the mixtape era was hot, like
Yeah.
that Piff, that Crack,
Yeah.
even underground.
What
I
was
mean,
it? Pancake?
yeah, it was
All
just
that.
crazy with like the mixtape, circuit, and through me releasing, this, like I think I did like four of them shits, and yeah, whatever. Through releasing the mixtapes, I was able to catch the eye of my homie Yannick, which is the dude that brought me overseas. You know what I mean? So he's seen those. He's like, "Oh, you're dope. Hit me up. Ask me to work on a compilation album that he had." I was gonna hit him up for some ends at first because I was like, "Oh, dog, this fool's from he's from Switzerland. I know he got bread," but I was like, "Nah, there's an opportunity for me to get my music, to a new place."
Yeah.
And agreeing to that changed my life, bro. Because once I started doing that, he told me, bro, he's like, "Yo, like I'm gonna bring you out here, bro." And during this time in my life, it was crazy. Like my personal life was crazy. Like you know, um, I was about to go back to like adult school, try to get my GED, to get a dead end fucking job and all this crazy shit. And dog, and I just kept working. I just kept truly believing this would work out for me. And this fool hit me up. He's like, "Yo, check your inbox." And I'm like, "Yo," and boom. And this fool had my flight. He had show. I was like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "Bro, I told you I've been working, bro. I've been trying to get you out here, get your shit,
That's fire.
for the book and show." So yeah, man. And that's what led to that was me releasing those projects, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And taking the time, to do that shit. Shout out to the homie Figment because he played a major part in all that shit because he was mixing, mastering, and you know, um, and doing that shit for me, and getting it right. So at least when the listener heard some shit, it was good enough. You know what I mean? So
How many times have you traveled overseas to perform, bro?
I've been 3 times, man. I've
Three
been
times?
3 times. 3 times.
All
Um,
the same spot or different places?
I've been to Switzerland. I've been to France. I've been to Italy. I've been to Amsterdam.
There you go. I
I've
was
been to
gonna say
Austria.
I recall you say you had an Amsterdam trip one time, so I was waiting for that one.
Yeah, man, and it's a trip because a lot of the things that I did early on are actually coming to um a fruition at this point. You know what I mean? It's a crazy how you can work so hard at something and you really don't see the you don't see the
Any
mileage that
progress?
it came, yeah, and the
Okay.
progress. And then when you really step back and you're like, whoa, like fuck, I did all that shit through
Yeah.
hip hop,
Yeah.
you know, and it's like wow, like, you know, and I've been blessed, bro, to be able to meet some real individuals that I've known for the past 10 plus years now. You know, in my life still that I'm working with till this day. You know what I mean? And we're all still shooting at the target.
Okay.
And it's just a blessing, man, to just, you know, come so far. You know what I mean? And just, you know, be at a space where I don't even feel like I'm at a place where I want to be, but I'm super thankful. You know what I'm saying, for all the
Yeah.
support and everything. But you know, in a personal sense, man, I'm really trying to just elevate, bro, with this shit. You know,
Gotcha.
elevate.
Gotcha. We got a question from the homie that's in the chat. This is Hermano Jedi Game Tricks, bro. He wants to know, what's your writing process when it comes to coming up with songs and concepts. Like, what's your writing process when coming
Right,
up with
right.
songs and concepts?
Yeah, man. Honestly, I'm heavily inspired by the beats and the sounds. I can't, you know, particularly like say I have a process where like I do it this way because every way's a little different. But one thing is for sure, it has to be the beat that, you know, pulls it out of me. I feel like I'm always open to beats, and I'm always open to new producers because I feel that they bring the inspiration out. You know, sometimes I'll know I have a beat that has a certain sound, and I'll get back to it because maybe I'm not in that mood, or you know, the setting isn't right, you know, for me to get into that thought process. Like if it's a real emotional beat and I'm having a really good day, I'm not gonna try, you know, to tap in into some emotional shit because I know it's not driven from that.
Okay.
I'm not in that, you know, mood. So I feel like you know, my mood is what really drives the music as well. You know, rainy days I feel too, gloomy days are the kind of days where I feel I get into a bag of emotion.
Okay.
So I try to go off of, you know, the weather, what's happening in my life. I feel like if I let maybe 3 weeks go by without writing, it's a good thing for me because then it gives myself a chance to recharge. And who knows, like if I allow um 3 weeks to go by, I could be writing shit for the next 3 months or
Mm.
4 months. You know, I just need a little bit of a recharge to um you know, just know where I'm gonna go with it. And then also too, within that time, you know, I'm getting beats and I'm listening. And what I try not to do is listen to other people's shit because
Okay.
I don't want to
Yeah.
be influenced coming in to my own shit. So I'll
Yeah.
listen to classic rock, I'll listen to oldies, I'll listen to, you know, some funk, nothing that has to do with my own genre because I don't want to pull from that. You know what I mean? I want to be able to, you know, be inspired by shit that's already considered a classic. And if
And
I have that
what you're being
energy,
inspired by is mostly the beat too, because what you're naming, like you're saying, you're getting away from this to get with this. What you're getting at is mostly all melody heavy and stuff.
right, and that's
So
what I'm
that's pretty
saying. Like
good. You're staying
and
away
it's
from mostly vocal shit into
right, right,
that's
right.
awesome, bro. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, and I think what it does is it jogs the, you know, the mind to use maybe inspiration from a word or maybe
Mm.
a lyric from one of these classic rock joints and twist it into some shit that, you know, may inspire you. You know
All
what
right.
I mean? Um, and you know, the shit's always different. You know, you know, like I said, you know, I could, and then also sometimes like when I'm out and about, I'll come up with rhymes like just in my head. You know, like, and I'll just be like, boom, I'll jot it down. So when I come into the writing process, I already have a leading bar, I already have a leading quote,
Mm.
you know, something to inspire me to go off of. So I'm not dragging my ass and like, oh, where, you know what I mean? Because honestly, man, I feel like the shit that I rap about you know, I don't have to create it because it's already there. You know, like I don't have to like I don't have to pull from an imaginary source. It's like it's all here. You know what I mean? So it's like when I come into it, I'm not there like, what am I gonna write about? It's like I feel the beat, I kind of have something in the stash already. Then I'm gonna go boom, and I'm off to the races. You know what I mean? And that's why I never understood writer's block or anything like that. I just feel like creatively you could trick yourself into doing anything. So if you're not
Ooh, nice. I like that.
trying,
I like how you said that.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
if you're not feeling trying to write a verse today, then try to draw, try to you know, do some other creative shit. You know what I mean? Try to make a beat, like do some other shit that will creatively keep the juices flowing. So when you do get inspired again to write a verse or you know do something like that, you know, do a song, it's not that you left it because you had writer's block. You left it to get re-inspired, to get recharged. You know,
Yep.
I don't like that word writer's block because that shit's never been an issue for you know because
It don't
I don't
exist.
think about that shit.
Yeah,
I just yeah, man. I think if you it's just like anything else, bro. If you believe it's real, then motherfucker, that shit is real.
man.
You know what I mean? So just, you know, when it comes to this art form and its craft, you have to give your chance to recharge. Don't consider it, oh, I don't, you know,
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm writer's block. Like, give yourself a chance to be re-inspired. Travel, go for a hike, go for a walk, go walk your dogs, go for a swim, do a workout.
So
You
that's
know what I'm
good.
saying? Do some shit that is gonna get you motivated and inspired to write some shit that you never wrote before. You know what I mean? Like, how could you have writer's block writing some shit you never wrote before? Tell me that.
All right, that makes sense.
You know what I mean? That shit don't make
Yeah.
no sense. Like, you got writer's block. How? Like, you didn't even write that shit yet. Like, how? You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Yeah.
man, I think it's all about how you think about this shit, bro. You know
All
what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah, yeah. The homie said he asked, "Do you come up with hooks first or verses?"
It varies. It varies. I feel the songs that I come up with the hooks on a first are way more easier to pen because you know the concept's already there. So then you can just I got the concept of the hook already. Now I could pen my verse. But when I pen the verse first, then I have to like I have to transform not only my thought process, but even my vocals to tune into a hook. You know what I mean? Because you can't keep the verse, you know, the same tone as the hook. You want to switch it up, you know, vocal range, the thought process, different shit. You know what I mean? So it kind of varies. Like I feel if you want to challenge yourself as an artist, try to write the verse first and then do a hook because it'll transcend you as an artist to, you know, pull, you know, something different out as to where if you were to come up with the hook first, it kind of already sets the game plan. You know what I mean? You kind of, all right, I have my hook. Now I just got to. So now when you come in with the verse, you're kind of just, you're coming in like if you're like on a Picasso and you're just like, you know, freestyling that shit, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And now you got to bring it home. So now you're like, okay, now how can I bring this shit home? You're like, boom, 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 bam, I got it. And like the feeling of a complete song after you've tested yourself as an artist, like that's the feeling of I think that's the feeling that an artist really needs to feel. And it's the feeling of trial and tribulation,
Okay.
going up a hill and completion. You know what I mean? And pulling it out of yourself to complete something that was trying, you know, and then it sets you up for, you know, the next thing, which is when you do a collaboration or something like that, it puts you in a playing field of either I'm going to go off of this artist or they're going to go off of me. And I feel when you have your own song writing a process down, when you walk into a collaboration, it's easier for you. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot easier because you know where to go with it. If this artist wants to harmonize, you can harmonize. If this artist wants to rap his ass off, you can rap your ass off. If he wants to be on some emo shit, you could be on some emo shit. If you want to be on some hype shit, club shit. So I think ultimately, man, sharpening your pen gets you ready for any scenario with this hip hop shit. You know, whether it be underground, mainstream, R&B, all aspects of this shit, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna ask you a little follow up. How long does it usually take you to complete a song?
Man, I work super fast, bro. Like that's one thing I do when I'm inspired and when I'm locked in, I'm locked in, and that's shit. Like there's been times where my girl she'll be here and then she'll go in and out, and then next thing you know she's like, oh, so did you get those songs written? I'm like, I already read them, recorded them. I did actually 3 of them.
Oh
You only saw
wow.
me do 1. I actually did 3. So yeah. So I honestly, man, I just like when I lock in, bro. You know what I mean? And I try to, at least if I can't write and record it that same day, write it out. And what I try to do too as well, to try to lock in, the feeling and the energy, is I'll just do like a rough recording on my phone. I'll play the
Okay.
beat. I'll have the phone and I'll just rap my verse into the phone. So when
Okay.
I come back to it, I know exactly how I did it. Because there's been so many times where I've written something, I'll come back into it and I completely forgot how it went to the beat, and it's like off. And I'm sitting there like, what the fuck? Like, how did I do this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't know how you delivered it. Your
Yeah,
cadence is
and
off
it
and
was ill,
everything.
and it's crazy because
Uh,
you did fucking deliver it. It's like on point, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
now you're sitting there, we're like, damn, like, well, how did I say this one
Yes.
thing
Yes.
that could throw me
Yep.
off, for the whole
Hmm.
thing? So, now what I do is when I'm working that fast, is I have to do that sometimes. So I'll write a song, wrap it into my phone, onto the next.
Okay.
Write a song, wrap it into onto the next, and then maybe 2 or 3 days later, I'll have the time to record. I got my home studio here, so it's easy for me to just turn that shit on. I can record myself. I don't do any of the mixing or the mastering, which helps me out in the long run. I want to learn that shit. Don't get me wrong, but that's a whole nother.
Different realm.
Yeah, bro. Like I'm already holding enough space in my head to like remember to fucking feed my dogs here and there sometimes. Dog. So I'm trying to fucking do what I can, homie. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man. So the process of it, man, is you can make it how you want it. You know what I mean? If you have your home studio, if you have homies that do mixing and mastering, and you can shoot them the shit, and they'll hook you up for like a cheap, like that's what I kind of do. You know what I mean? Because I can't do everything. I can't
Yeah.
write the raps, record the raps, mix and master the raps, do the covers, do the like. Come on now. And if you can, my fucking hats off to you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
But I
that's a
just
lot
can't.
of work, bro.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm a father, and I'm this. I'm so
Yes.
many. We wear so many hats.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But certain hats you should choose to wear and wear them well. But there's other ones that you want to maybe hand off to somebody else
Yeah.
because they're gonna be um, worn a lot better. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, um, the processing, behind everything, man, is just try to find your own rhythm of things. You know what I mean? And have fun with it too. Don't fucking be like, honestly, man, I try not to be too serious with it as much as I am. I'm XP the Marxman, and I'm
Yeah.
super serious, but I also have that, you know, other aspect to me where it's like, just have fun with it, man, and believe in yourself. And one thing too, I have to, tell myself is what I think is old is not old to the public. So if you have like an old track that you never released and you're kind of like iffy about shit, or if maybe you have a track that you're just iffy about that you think the public may not like, or something, it's like you got to get over yourself.
Yeah.
That's the thing about artists. Now we have these egos, that we're the fucking, we're the greatest, or whatever it may be. I feel having that ego is good at times because it pushes you through the times where you have the doubt.
Okay.
But I feel it can also sabotage yourself because you're so caught up on trying to be the perfect artist or like the perfect this or that. I can't, you know what I mean? It's like, and what you don't allow is for other people to see you in a vulnerable state, which is, you know, being an artist. I mean, you're you know, subjected to criticism. You're subjected to all types of shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel that you know, in order to be able to give yourself a chance, you got to let the public just hear it, see it out. Everyone's not gonna like your shit. You're not gonna be for everybody, and that's perfectly fine.
Yep.
But
That's
you find your tribe, your people that, you know, fuck with you, and then you give them the best of you, bro, and that's it.
all right.
Leave it all on the playing field, because if you got individuals hitting you up saying, "Hey, man, you inspire me, homie," or you do that shit, like, you know, because you know, there's times where like I'm at a low too. I'm trying to conjure up energy, and I'm trying to conjure up just the will to live sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Because I deal with all this shit too, anxiety, depression, and all this shit. I know IG, it makes it look really nice. Everybody's fucking life is hella nice on IG. What can I
That's
say?
true. That's true.
Even the homeless man's fucking, like, if he's just at the park taking
That's
snapshots of the
true.
lake, a homeless man's life could look really nice living
Yeah,
at the park.
that's true.
So I say that to say this, man, like, don't overwhelm yourself, you know, with other people's journeys, because that's not your journey. You know, Instagram, social media has created this kind of lifestyle in people's minds that, damn, like, I wish I had that. I wish I had that. It's like, nah, man, you have to be, you know, thankful and complacent with the things you have, and move with grace and just integrity within this shit. Because, man, like, this hip hop game is, it's kind of trash, G. Tell you the truth, man. There's a lot of people trying to get over on each other, do this, do that, you know, smile in your face. I'm cool with you, I'm not. So there's a lot of that shit. And I feel like if you can carve your niche and find your people, your lane, you'll be good, man. And like I said, you don't have to be the richest, you don't have to be the biggest. You just have to be able to do what you love and be respected for it. And if they want to support it with a little bit of bread, you know, about buying a CD or a shirt, then that's even more of a blessing. But I'm just happy with individuals listening to my music and letting me know that my shit is dope. I'm happy with that.
Your
You know what I'm
shoes
saying?
though, bro. Hell yeah. All right. So we are here with XP the Marksman. For those that are stepping in, for those that are leaving, yo, salutes. My next question is, who do you like to collab with, bro?
What was that? I'm sorry.
Who do you like to collab with? Someone that you have not, you know, made music with. Is there anybody you would like to collab with?
Um, I would like to collab with Freddie Gibbs,
Mm.
Benny the Butcher. I know they
Mm.
don't like each other, but that ain't got nothing to do with me.
It's music, baby. Let's make money.
You know
You
what
know
I'm
what I mean?
saying? Yeah, you know, Benny. I would like to do some shit with um that's just rap. Little Dragon. I don't know if you ever heard of them. Little
Who?
Dragon.
No. Little
They're
Dragon?
they're like they're like a, I can't really describe them. They're a really ill band. And then there's this other new band that I kind of got hip to. They're called Krogbin, Kraugbin, and they're out of
Crosby?
Texas. And
Uh,
those fools are fucked. Like, and it's a girl on the bass, dude on the drums,
okay.
dude on the guitar. Yeah, it's ill, bro. Like, they're really ill. So
Sounds
yeah, I mean,
different. It sounds different.
yeah, it's super ill. It has, you know, like a vintage, you know, kind of sound to them. But yeah. So I keep my ear palette open, bro. I don't like, it's rare for me to listen to hip hop on my off times. Like, I'm listening to classic rock. I'm listening to funk. Like I said, bro, it's other shit. Like, I'm never listening to the shit that, you know. And I think when I do listen to my genre is when I'm out I'm feeling good. I want to listen to some Benny. I want to listen to some Gibbs. I want to listen, you know what I mean? Then I'll
Yeah.
do that. You know what I'm saying? But when I'm on my off time, nah, man. I gotta listen to my, you know what I'm saying? I gotta listen to other shit.
Yeah. Always. Alrighty then. Which XP album is your favorite, or if you don't have one favorite, can you name a top 3 or 5?
Um, my top five in no order is gonna be Sincere Leader,
I like that one.
Nomads,
Okay.
Keep Firing,
Okay.
um, Get Familiar,
Okay.
and then I want to say the RX album
All
with the
right. You
homie
see,
Rashid.
at least 3 of those I haven't heard, bro. I might have to do some listen parties on the stream, man, just to get your channel up there, bro. I want that shit monetized soon, brother. I was gonna ask you as well. Do you watch battle rap since you have Ill Word who comes with with a battle rap background? I don't know if
Right.
any of that has rubbed off on you to where you probably watch battle rap and maybe that motivates
Here,
you on some
here
writing.
and there, bro. Um, Here and there, G. Nothing too crazy like him. You know, that fool orders that shit offline, and we'll be having little parties at his crib. Tell the homies to come through. Like, yeah, I just
Yeah, I like that
I
shit. So I had
respect
to
it,
ask.
bro. And crazy thing, I just befriended Iron Solomon. Like that's my homie now, and I remember watching this fool like
New
rip
York
fools up,
legend, bro. New York legend in the battle rap
bro.
scene.
So
New York legend, URL
and
legend.
I got to build with that fool, and I could consider him one of the homies. I got his number in my phone, like that kind of shit. So I
That,
kind of feel
that's sick. That's fire.
like the era that I was in, he was the king of this shit.
Hmm.
And then it kind of went to disaster after that, obviously, because he was on a whole other platform and shit like that. So like I kind of feel I've always been in tune with it, and I've always respected the art form. But the battling I come from is off the top, bro. We didn't have these 2 months to fucking do research
I get you all this
about your
pre-written.
opponent and
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
like bro, like the era that I suppose and Illward were champs of was off the top of the dome, bro. Like
So,
looking at fools
so that's like
and just
Triple
wow,
Jam.
wow. Yeah,
Triple
man.
Jam type beat, but it would be on beat, right? When you would do it, was it on beat or just acapella?
Yeah, they would do it on beat, fool. They would
Okay.
dog like there's videos up of I think I suppose up right now of him fucking battling fools. There's a like, and that's what I'm saying, bro. Like it's an era where you didn't rap over your vocals. You learned all this shit early on, bro. Like you don't rap over your vocals. You don't perform over your vocals. The only thing you should have when you perform on that instrumental is your hook. At
Okay.
least have your hook on there. That way it gives it a little bit more energy, and you can catch your breath in between time.
Mhm.
Like boom, boom, and then you come back into it. I noticed a lot of that nowadays is a lot of these artists, they'll just rap over their fucking track, and it's like, bro, like this ain't no fucking karaoke shit. You know what I mean? Like do some do some shit. Like you have to
So
a
it's your
rehearsal
material,
studio,
like
book
dog.
a
It's your
rehearsal studio, take your music over there, take your DJ over there, and get a fucking set going. If you're gonna
yeah.
take this shit serious, do it serious, man, because there's too many fools that want to do the add water and mix, and then there's the cake. As such as I know, I come from the old school. We chop the grain, we break the grain down, we make a powder of it, we add the water, the egg, the yeast, get that shit mashed
There you
up.
go.
We make a bond, and then we cook our bread.
There you
That's how
go.
I'm doing it. You know what I mean? We're doing this shit from scratch.
Yes.
So I feel coming into it, um, you know what I mean? Um, with that sense of knowing that shit, you know what I mean? In that sense, it has like, it sets you apart, dog, in a way. You know what I mean?
I
When you
got you.
learn the fundamentals of this shit.
We have someone in the chat. Yes, C214. She asked, Who is his top artist that helps him get through his off days? Does he have a specific go-to artist?
Um, I do. I like to listen to Bob Marley. I like to listen to there's soul oldies, like the old school shit, like the Temptations and shit like that, which is what I'm saying, which is more chill shit. But there's these new artists that do soul. His name is Bobby Arosa. I don't know if you heard of him, but he's like a new modern soul artist. But he does oldies, but he's new. But it like the sounds super vintage. I like to listen to Little Dragon, like I said before, and that's like if you listen to that and you listen to my music, you wouldn't even fucking think I listen to that music because it has nothing like.
Okay.
But I pull inspiration from that music.
That's amazing.
You would never know, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But yeah,
amazing.
I listen to Krogbin, which is that new band that I got, and if I'm not listening to them, and it's crazy because I listen to classic shit, and if I could find a newer artist that recreates that sound, then I'm hooked on that artist too, because it kind of gives me the same feel as like I'm listening to like classic rock or like I'm listening to an older artist. And I think I like a vintage shit, you know what I mean? Because I feel a lot of the artists, from that era, they come from the places of like, psychedelics, and these fools are just, it's a natural sense. These fools used to go for camping trips and do shrooms and fucking you know what I mean? Like artists today, they fucking turn up and they do syrup and they do Molly and they're fucking they look like a coloring board with fucking bro. Like no hate, no disrespect. I got love for it. Whatever you're doing, I just feel, me personally, you're gonna get your best inspiration if you're an artist from the older artists, and maybe the ones that ain't even here anymore, because I feel a lot of the artists I listen to ain't even alive anymore, you know what I mean? The ones that I love, at least, you know what I'm saying, that I go to, you know what I mean? Tupac and fucking, and if you want to ask me who the rapper that I think is the best rapper of all time, it's Tupac. And the only reason why is because I can relate to a lot of the shit that he says in his raps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he puts feeling in his shit, bro.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the only reason. I mean, I can't say he raps, better than a Biggie skill wise or anything like that, or any other artist. I'm saying intellectually, subject matter, reality rap, shit that I could relate to, shit that I've actually seen that he fucking says in his raps, growing up and being like, wow, this fool knows me. Yeah. Like, to feel that attachment to an artist, it's hard to get that shit nowadays, man. To be like, yo, this fool, this fool is speaking for the kids like me, the fools that don't have a voice, the fools that are poor, the latchkey kids, the fools that have to eat ramen every night, for bread, you know what I'm saying? Like, for those kind of kids, you know what I'm saying? And I just use that energy, man. And I just used a lot of the hardships in my life to catapult me and use it as fuel to the flames to get me to where I wanted to be, instead of using it as an excuse to become exactly what they thought I would be, which is a fuck up. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is, man.
Gotcha. All right, I got like a few more questions for you, brother. And one of them is, what was the craziest shit you ever seen at an event? If you could say, if you can't, we skip the question. But the craziest shit you ever seen at an event?
The craziest thing I seen at an event. One time, the homie, I suppose, he booked a show with 2 rival gangs in the show unknowingly. We're backstage about to hop on, and there's like a curtain in front of the stage. So we're like just chilling, they have the couch there, there's like drinks and stuff. And like it's me, it's my baby mama, the homie Confident, Illward, and his girl, I think at the time, I suppose, and his girl, maybe. We're all just like our group of people were like about to hit the stage. bro, all you hear is, what, fucking, battles, fucking bats and like whatever. You just hear like fools like, oh shit,
Yeah,
no, like, and
yeah.
like I literally fucking peek through the curtain, and like there's a all out brawl going down in the bar. For like, there's bar stools, there's fucking pool
Damn.
sticks, there's fucking pool balls being like, and I'm like, oh shit,
Damn,
but
bro.
keep in mind, like, we're hiding behind this flimsy ass curtain, dog. So I'm like, oh shit, like I look back, I'm like, yo, there's all this shit. So everything we kind of, I'm like, oh fuck. So we're like kind of, we're kind of protected in a way, but we're not, because it's just a fucking flimsy ass fucking curtain. But like we can't be seen. It's like it looks like a wall or something.
Okay.
So one of the dudes runs in the back, and he kind of sees like, the door open, and he sees us. He's like, oh shit, and he kind of, we're like, nah, homie, nah, like get out of here, fool, like get the fuck out of here, like don't bring that shit over here, because they were chasing this fool. This fool was fucked. He was like, oh please, hey man, we're like, nah, homie, get out. So he kind of like, oh shit. So he goes towards the back, and I guess it led outside, like some shit was happening outside. So by this time, a lot of these fools are already heading towards their cars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For the for the burners or whatever.
Oh.
So fools leave and shit. They're like, boom, 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 and fucking the owner closes the door, boom, and then you hear fools like, let me in, boom, 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 let me in, and all you hear is, bah, 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 bah. I'm like, oh, damn, this shit is wild, bro. Like, and I don't know who it was. I don't care.
Yep.
But that shit was crazy. That was a crazy fucking hip hop night. Like and it was put it like this. It was one of those shows where I was like in the backstage like this, bro. Like I just want to go home. I gotta go to work tomorrow. I'm like, I just want to do this fucking hole in the wall show. I'm like, come on. And this shit goes down. I'm like, fucking A. Like I didn't even want to be here, and then this shit goes down.
Crazy, bro.
That shit was wild, bro.
That's just crazy, bro.
That shit was wild.
All right, now enough from the wildness and stuff. Let's get back on some music. I just wanted to know, bro, because I know you've been.
Nah, for sure.
I needed to know what was the craziest. If I see another artist, I'm gonna ask that motherfucker that same shit too. Who's your favorite producer to work with?
My favorite producer to work with, I would say, shit, man. That's a hard one, dog.
Dang, I needed to hit you with one like that. Like, damn. Bro, my questions like crazy.
Fuck.
And of course, salutes to all the producers out there.
But yeah, man, salute to.
I know certain have like
honestly, dog. Honestly, like I was even thinking about that too, man, because I've worked with a lot of individuals throughout my career and recently, man. But I feel like I have a couple joints to these beats, and this fool always just hits me up randomly, blindly, and I literally can say that I have some heartfelt tracks to his beats, and he never really misses on that end. And I feel like these tracks are significant to who I am and to my heart. You know what I'm saying? And it's my homie SAL, my homie Cell, and he's not like a known producer. You know what I'm saying? He has credits within the industry, but he's not really out there like that. But I want to give him his flowers right now, because I actually I thought about that shit as I was chilling, and I was like, yo, like what tracks have I made that like recently that I can really say that they hit me in a different way, and I would say his. You know what I'm saying? Because when I listen to his beats, they bring an emotional aspect out of me, but the beats are hard too. You know what I mean? He has like crazy, soulful, melodic tunes that kind of it makes you want to tap into old childhood, kind of rough shit. You know what I mean? Inspirational shit. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, I think right now the homie Sal, man, he kind of has that, sound on me right now. Tell you the truth.
For sure. Salutes to Sal, everybody. Yo, and also look, if you're not subscribed to my man's channel, the link is pinned right there in the chat. Go run the playlist. You will not be disappointed. Amazing music, West Coast shit.
Thank you.
There's we almost done here, man. I got you, XP.
No doubt. I'm chilling right now, anyways, man.
How did Miho Music Records come to be?
Miho Music is just you know, growing up, me and my brother, me and my homies, me and my cousins, we just call each other mijo. You know what I'm saying? That's
Okay.
just a term of endearment that we would use to each other. And I guess it just grew. It just grew, you know what I mean, into the mijo music. And shout out to the homie Ice Rocks, because you know, I went to New York, you know, for my first time, and I was just over there like I put everybody up out there on like the Chicano lifestyle. You know, I
Okay.
had fools sit down and watch Blood in Blood Out. I fucking put fools up on game about, hey, what's up, fool? And you know, the
Yeah.
handshake, you know, with the bump, like they
Yeah.
used to, like they don't know about that shit. So you have to, you know, so when I'm there, I'm trying to put fools up on game. And the homie Ice Rocks one day he's like, hell yeah, homie, you out here doing that Mijo music, fool. You know what I'm saying? That you out here doing that
Okay.
Mijo music. I'm like, oh shit, all right. So then it kind of just, you know, developed a name of its own. You know, as much as I am the, you know, the Mijo or
Yeah.
you know the big, like, and it's crazy because even the big Mijo, like, I go back east, everybody calls me that. Hey, what's up, big Mijo? You here? Like, you know what I mean? It's crazy because it grew a life of its own. You know what I mean? And the Mijo music just attached itself because we're all, you know, mijos to somebody, fool. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of feel a mijo is like, hey, what's up, son? On our side, you know what I
Okay.
mean? On the West Coast. So it's like, hey, what's up, mijo? How you doing? Like, you know,
Yeah.
what's up,
Okay.
son? What up, son? Like, you know what I mean?
I got
So
it.
so yeah, man. So I feel like it has the, you know, the same context, but just worded different. But just,
Yeah.
you know, for our side. But now it's, you know, it kind of became its own thing. And so in terms of like Miho music, now I feel like creating it, now it could be a hub for other artists that want to release shit, you know,
Okay.
and I could use the resources that I've applied through this art form and apply it to what,
Okay.
you know, they're doing.
Uh,
So that's what it is now. It's like, you know, um, in the midst of me trying to create myself, creating the Miho music, bringing in resources to the artists in Miho music, it's gonna help us all, you know, because there's artists that I've been working with for over 10, 20 years, dog, out here that I feel are talented enough, but just need the platform or just need the outlets that they don't really have access to, you know what I'm saying? That it's hard
okay.
to gain access to. And shout out to all the Shade 4-5 DJs out there that continuously have me on the playlist all throughout the year, throughout the years. I'm just gonna keep on serving the public, man. This shit, you know what I'm saying? And that's all we could do, man. But that's what the Mio music is, though, man. It's a hub for other artists that are serious enough about their own craft and their own um individuality that I feel if they want to really do this shit, they could meet other people halfway. So if like they have videos and they got plays and they got, you know, IG's booming, whatever the case, because like I said, you don't have to be the illest out there. You just have to want this shit enough to set yourself apart in the midst of it all, because it's not easy, you know. And if I, like I said, if I can help people out, you know, my brothers out in the midst of it, man, I will, you know. So
Yeah.
that's what the Mio music is, though, dog. It's a hub for anybody that wants to take this shit on, bro. Who wants to play ball? You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Gotcha. All right. Yes, he had another question. It was, has have you ever been approached by a younger generation fan? And if so, what was your reaction? I can answer that for you. Yeah, right. You've been approached
Yeah,
by.
for sure. I just I did a show. I did a show last weekend.
Yeah.
I did two shows last weekend. But anyways, I did a show last weekend, and 80% of the crowd was younger kids, and you know they bought merch. And the kid, one of the kids that was actually like, you know, he like actually He hit me up after the fact, and um, I gave him words of inspiration and stuff like that. He was there with his dad, and his dad looked like he was my age. So I was just tripping, because I'm like, his dad is here because he loves hip hop, and now his, son is here and he likes my shit. So it's like, not
You can
only
only
did,
imagine it's not just them, bro. It's others to other fathers that are probably your age, maybe a little older, a little
right,
younger, that they love your shit and they probably bump it around your son, like they kids and
yeah, their
stuff.
kids and stuff like that. Yeah,
That must be a
yeah.
crazy feeling, bro.
No, bro, like, and then, to also have my son who's a 13, like he's a part of the younger generation now too. And he tells me like his friends, like him, I'm sure I'm not as cool as I am, to the other kids, because I'm not around them all the time or whatever. But he tells me that his friends, they're like, yo, man, they like your raps and your songs, and they think you're fire.
Yeah.
They think you're fire and shit like that. I'm like, oh, like I feel, man, that my music, if it isn't for one generation, it's for all, because you can pull a piece of something that you'll be able to relate to. And also, I feel that the younger generation growing up now, I feel that they want something more from their music now, you know, instead of like a turn up, you know what I mean? Not trying to say that every artist on the younger generation raps about that, but that's what is prevalent, you know what I mean? Let's turn up, shooting each other and just different shit like that, you know what I mean?
So
I'm not trying to say that I'm doing anything different, but I do it in a way where I can at least try to tell, the side of my story.
there
And
you
if
go.
you could take a piece of it for whatever it's worth, I'm happy with that, whether you like it or not. You know what I mean? Whether you say my shit is trash or it's good, you know,
Yeah.
I'm okay with that, because I feel like I'm doing this for the people that like it, not for the people that, don't. So I'm not going to give any attention or anything to that. And hopefully one day I do drop some shit that they'll like. You know what I mean? So until then, you know what I mean? I feel, you know what I mean? The younger generation makes up 90, if not 99, percent of what's new and what's hot.
That's facts.
And to be able to get love from the younger cats, the younger generation, I feel, that's a blessing, to be able to be relevant, amongst the younger generation. It was dope. And yes, I took a picture with that kid, and he hit me up. He's like, hey, man, much love. It was a pleasure to meet you. And I just hit him with some words of encouragement, words of inspiration. And hopefully, he takes heed and he could excel. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying?
And for those that don't know, XP actually recently opened up for Ice T. For those that know who the artist Ice T is,
Ice T, yeah, he's an old school artist. And then it's crazy because was it the weekend before I opened up for
I believe so.
Exhibit, uh, all, Raekwon, Jizza, yeah, it was a big event. It was a big event. Yeah.
Were you like a late call for the Ice T one?
Bro, I've been a late call for the past 2 shows. And the only reason why, bro, is because they see what I'm doing, man, and it's a, you know what I say is they save the best for last, mijo.
There you go.
I'm saying save the
Talk.
best for last.
There you go. Let's go. I like that. All right.
So
So,
yeah, man. But yeah, and my next show will be in LA on the 22nd, which is
I'm
I
gonna
think,
be there for that one. I'm gonna be there for that one. I'm
yeah,
supposed
you
to
have
be
to
there on the
pull up.
other
And you know
one.
what? What be dope is maybe if you could go live for all the people. You know what I'm saying?
I got you, bro. I'm gonna set some shit up, bro. I got you. I
That
got
would
you.
be sick, bro.
All right.
I'm gonna have
Any
a merch booth over there, so maybe you could just
for
tune
those
in
that
right
want to
there or
support,
something.
if you're in the LA area, uh, I was gonna ask. Oh, how did you meet Dome Piece?
Well,
Because I like Dome Piece. I like his style. I
word,
think
word.
he's pretty
Don't
dope.
Peace. That's my homie since 10 years already, and I met him in Amsterdam, dog, on my first tour. I met
What?
him, Ice Rocks. We got booked. at the same event in Amsterdam, which was a crazy event, bro. Like the people who booked us out there were like a part of an anti-government faction, and they basically lived in squats. Like the building we performed in was a a condemned building, but it had running water, electricity, and they converted the shit into like a venue. They had a stage in there, they had a bar, it was crazy, but over 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 the wall, like over the building, they draped like a sheet that just had all this anti-government. Like if you come in here, expect to fucking, like it was crazy, dog. Like
sounds crazy, bro.
Like man, like I can sit here and tell you how I met that fool Dome Piece. Like I flew into Amsterdam, the promoters swooped us up on foot, and like I'm not used to that. I'm not used to having all my luggage, and I'm like walking to the place where I'm supposed to be. I'm like, what the fuck, like. And we walked to this shitty ass, like a building that looked like it was over 300 years old. Like shit is old. Like, and this fool does like a secret, like head knock. It's like he does some secret shit, bro. And I'm like, what and bro, this fool opens the door, right? And like, I'm not gonna front, the shit smelled like fucking a BO because like I'm with a lot of European fools. And like, they're squatting, they're not in tune with their hygiene. And like, I look at my tour manager, I'm like, bro, like, you had me leave LA to come to this shit, fool. Like, you're gonna have to make something happen fast, dog. And so we're in there and we're smoking in there, bro, right? It's dog, I'm not bullshitting you. Like, I'm looking around, like, where the fuck am I, dog? And like the floor is like gonna cave in. You walk on the floor, you feel the whole fucking floor move, dog. Like this shit is not safe for people to live in. Yeah, dog, the whole floor. And there was like, it was crazy. Anyways, the main dude of the anti-government shit comes in and he sees me and he's like, yo, and he's hella pissed at all. He's like, yo, get this fool out of here. If the police come in here, they're gonna arrest us all. This fool, he's a get him out. Like he was kind of mad at me too. Like he didn't know who I was, and then they told him. He's like, I don't care. Like it was weird, fool. Like this hella bad vibes and in Dutch. These fools are speaking in Dutch and shit. They're like, this shit. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Like these fools are pissed at all these fools right now. So then one of the fools that booked the show, his parents were out of town, so they had this badass pad off of the lake, dog, like right there off of the dam shit.
Okay.
And luckily we were able to sleep there and shit like that. Like we didn't have to, I had my own room. It was dope. It was a nice spot. But anyways, this whole time I'm thinking in my head, like, fuck, like this shit's gonna be crazy. So the day of the show, I look at the flyer and they had a local act by the name of Blabbermouth. And if you look him up, he's pretty big out there, like, on the Dutch scene, underground hip hop scene, boom bap shit.
All right.
And they were doing an album release. And I don't know how I got booked, but DXA got flown out to do that show. And they were all there, their whole crew. I was the only solo act. All I had was my merchandise and a CD player to, press play on my set.
Okay.
And I went in there and I fucking killed it. And that's when I met those fools. I met all them fools, that day. Okay. And then, fast forward to maybe 3 years after that tour, they were doing a domestic tour. And they hit me up. They're like, yo, X, we're coming out to LA. Is there anything you could put together for us? So I put together some interviews for them. I put together, some shows for them and shit like that. So we just, from that day, me and Dome Piece, we did a track that day, which, that same day when we linked up, and from that track we started building. So now it's like, that's my brother, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like we've literally cultivated a relationship over the continent. Like he don't even live here. He lives clear across the continent. So to cultivate some shit where we're doing shows together, we're dropping albums together, we're dropping projects, like it's like he comes from a group I come, from a group, and now we're kind of formulating some new shit, and it's special because it's bi-coastal. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have a birthplace. And if you really want to call Miho music, if you want to say where it was born at, it was fucking born in Amsterdam, dog, fucking 10 years ago. You know what I mean? That's where that shit was born at. Facts, dog.
That's crazy. All
That's
right.
where Miho music was born. It was born over 10 years ago.
All right. So I see you sparking up some. Well, I hear you sparking up something. So for all the weed heads out there, we got to know what's your preferred strain, indica or sativa?
Indica, OGs all day.
Indica OG. You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. Indica OGs all day. I ain't mad at that. Now, who's the biggest artist you ever opened up for?
Shit. I would say well, I would say the illest and biggest would be Jizza from Wu-Tang, and I opened up for him in Zurich, and it was just me and him.
What?
And it was ill, bro. Yeah.
I seen a flyer to that actually.
There is, and you know what? There's some footage up on YouTube on that shit too. You gotta look at. Telling you, bro, I got gang of shit up there, bro.
All right.
And that was over what? That's over 10 years ago now, because I was 2012 when I did that. Okay. So that's over 10 years.
So Jizza, let's go. All right. Have you ever produced beats?
Yes, I have. I have hella beats. I just don't say, hey, I check my beats out. I always like. I'm a creator, dog. Like I've always been, self-taught. And I feel like when it comes to music, if you can write it, you could create it. You know what I mean? I took it upon myself to just, learn the shit. Any program. Like I started from a MPC, a MPC 1000, and now I work off of
Beat Machine.
Logic. Yeah, I work off of Logic, and I got a controller. The pad controller. So it's like I'm using the same shit, but now it's just kind of more technological, I would say. It's not actually, what I mean? So I kind of just grow with the times, and yeah, man, I actually released a beat tape on Spotify. It's called For the Mijos, and it's just it's one track, but it's like a half-hour track. You just press play and it kind of you know what I mean? Yeah, and that's up on Spotify, and the beats I make are completely different to anything that I would rap over. That's why you don't hear me say, "Hey, check out this shit that I rap." Maybe a couple beats I have throughout my career, but it's nothing that I've attained to want to do, because I feel like when I create the beats, that's kind of me already doing my raps and everything to it. So I don't feel like I need to add anything more to it. I would rather see someone else do some shit to it, which has happened. I got a few beats out there that, a couple cats did some shit too, but nothing too crazy. But it's out there.
Nah, from what I recall, you could sing.
Yeah.
Have you ever considered maybe a singing album with the same XP the Marxman feel?
I don't know. You kind of have to stay tuned, man. Maybe I'm kind of working on some shit already.
Oh no, you did it! Let's go. I like that, brother. All right, yeah, I'm down to the last questions, bro. That let the people know when's the next album dropping.
The next album?
Yeah, your next album. When's the next album dropping?
Ah, shit. I don't know, man. I just dropped an album like a couple weeks ago or a week. I dropped the main album 2 weeks ago, and then we dropped a remix to the whole album a week ago. So there's like 2 albums out. Honestly, man, right now the homie Dome Piece and Illward, they got some shit in the stash that I'm gonna really hone in on, and I'm gonna focus on that right now. But I'm always cooking, bro. I got shit in the stash, bro. Always trying to put some shit together. But I think the next couple months I'm gonna help these guys do what they gotta do. I think I may be traveling to do some shows here and there. I might go back to New York and do some promotion out there for the projects I've done and shit like that. So I'm really just right now. I'm kind of just letting that Beat Junkie project bubble right now, give it some air, and then I'm gonna help Illward and Dome Piece with their endeavors, and then we'll see. We'll see. You know what I mean?
Sounds good,
But
brother.
honestly, me personally, I can't not let at least a couple months go without dropping shit. So believe I'll be having at least a single, couple singles, something. I'll have
Okay,
something for you.
all right. You going? He's dropping little sprinkles of
Yeah, I'm about to
like,
sprinkle me, man.
all right. And the last one is, when can I be on the album, fool? Huh? I gotta put you on the
Damn, what's
spot.
up, fool?
You gotta put me on the album, bro. I can do this, man. I can do this.
I'm I'm with it, fool. You gotta be around this shit. You
Nah, I'm
gotta
here
come
with
to the
you,
stew
bro.
session shit, man.
Hey, let me know, bro. But
You're gonna be
hey,
around and shit, so you
I,
know, you might
I
have to catch
appreciate you, man.
you I'm like, hey fool, we up in the lab, you wanna come through, and then you come through and we'll see what it is, you know what I'm saying?
Don't do that skirt. But nah, yo, hey, I
Nah,
really
I'm
appreciate
with
you,
it,
bro.
man.
I appreciate you, my brother. I want to
No
take
worries,
any
man.
more of your time, bro. We're already at 1:30, and hey, man, tell everybody where we can find you, bro. What's your I guess your music platforms and your social medias.
Y'all can check me out pretty much everywhere at XP the Marksman, and that's XPTHEMARXMAN, not with the CK.
That shit's funny, brother. I mean, I'm gonna clip that
Yeah.
shit. I'm put you on blast, brother. But yo, I'm gonna let you go, brother. Yeah, you have a great rest of your day, fam. All right, I'm gonna be in
Hey
tune
man,
with
you
you.
too. Everybody out there too, man, that tuned in, asked questions. If you want to become an artist, if you're trying to do this, just don't let anybody, not even yourself, talk you out of it. You know what I'm saying? Just keep moving. Move through it all. Move through it all.
There you go. That was XP the
Salute to
Mark.
everybody.
Salutes, brother. You take care,
All
man.
right, man. Peace.
Peace. But yo, hey, that's my homie, man. I've known him for fuck. Put it like this. I've known XP since I was 16. Yo, dude right here, 32, man. Do the math. I think that's more than 10 years, right? Yeah, that's crazy. But yo, hey, salutes. If y'all want to show love, do me a favor. It's still pinned. Go to the pin and just click that link, subscribe, and just run the playlist. If you want like a little workout music, hey, bump fucking Pacific Standard Time. That's actually a great album. If you want to actually check it out, you can check the stream I did with XP listening to the album and all that shit. Y'all know what to do, man. If anything, I'm gonna take a little break, and I think I'm gonna hit y'all some DVD. Stay tuned. I appreciate everybody that came through. All right, y'all take care. Unity, hip hop still lives, motherfucker.